Hello, this is Matt on the Moon Lambeau channel. Bitcoin is now following in the footsteps of XRP, because XRP hit a particular milestone about 4 years before Bitcoin did. And so what prompted me to make this video is, it started with this tweet that's on your screen from Bitcoin maximalist Anthony Pompliano. And Anthony Pompliano, although I still like the guy and I agree with him on way more than I disagree, he is a maximalist, and I don't think it makes sense to be a maximalist of any coins. Different coins have different technical attributes adopted by different people for different reasons. Some geopolitically. Like, you're never gonna have a one size fits all crypto for, and that should be like very apparent. But maximalists don't agree with that. They think that I'm wrong. I think they're wrong. Okay. But he happens to be particularly against Ripple and XRP, as you may be aware. And so it's just it's been very interesting to see over the last several years these use cases that propped up with XRP first. There are two that come to mind that I'm going to talk about in this video, one more than the other. But it's just fascinating to me that XRP does it first. Anthony Pompliano dismisses it until Bitcoin attempts to do it. That's what I'm noticing here. And so take a look at this tweet. Breaking. Twitter is launching Bitcoin Lightning Network tipping functionality on iOS. And by the way, I think it's awesome that they're doing this. I don't mind other cryptocurrencies attempting to be used for use cases that XRP also has. I just say let the market figure it out. Whatever is the best cryptocurrency and blockchain for whatever use case, I hope that's what wins, and I think free markets are going to figure all this stuff out. And I'm also pro Bitcoin. So to me, this is still good news. I'm just acknowledging that Ripple does stuff first, and not just Ripple, but developers building within the XRP community have done things first before Bitcoin. And as you'll see as I go through this video, a big reason anyway, that things like this happen with XRP first is because XRP is technologically superior to Bitcoin. It's absolutely superior layer 1 technology. And so it's fascinating to me that people choose to use an inferior technology as a baseline, for building on top of, for some of these use cases. It's just, it doesn't compute. I'm just saying, if I'm a developer, and I'm not, but if I were a developer and I wanted to build out a particular thing, if XRP and the XRP ledger is a better baseline for that, I'm going to start with that. And I understand that Bitcoin's, it's got the brand cachet, this or that, but damn it, XRP is one of the most successful and biggest cryptocurrencies on the planet. It's okay. I'm just saying. But look, I don't have a financial background of any kind. I'm not offering financial advice, and you should not buy or sell anything because of anything that I say or write. I'm just an enthusiast who makes YouTube videos about crypto-related topics, but purely as a hobby, just for fun. And so here's the headline from CoinDesk. Twitter to add Bitcoin Lightning tips, NFT authentication. And again, XRP already did it, but let me run through this so you know what we're talking about here. Twitter users on Apple's iOS will now be able to connect third-party tipping services to their profile on the social media site. That will include the ability to link both Bitcoin addresses and Lightning Network addresses. Twitter also announced today that it will add non-fungible token verification features to the platform, a key step in the evolution of the booming trend for unique digital art, particularly as social media avatars. No specific timeline was laid out for the feature, which remains in development. Now, the tips feature will roll out on Twitter's iOS app today and will come to Android systems soon, company representatives said in a press call. The feature is part of a broader push to increase the options for Twitter users with large followings to monetize their content. The announcement didn't address whether or when the functionality will extend to Twitter on the web. The tipping feature will rely entirely on third-party payment services like Jack Mallers' Strike app. So let me pause right there. You may be familiar with Jack Mallers and his Strike app. I've talked about this before. He basically, within the last, when did he do this? It's within the last year, roughly. To be honest, I can't remember exactly when this first popped up. I've made a couple videos on the topic here, but he has a company called Strike. and he has the Strike app, which is basically trying to do the same thing that RippleNet does. And so that's why it's been so funny seeing Bitcoin maximalists like Anthony Pompliano not be a fan of XRP. That's the banker's coin, this or that. And now they're trying to do the same thing that Ripple's doing, except for instead of using XRP via on-demand liquidity, they're trying to use Bitcoin in the Lightning Network. And so it's just an inferior layer 1 technology Lightning Network to this point. Maybe it'll work awesome one day, but it certainly does not today. Seems to work for small transactions. They're also experiencing serious liquidity issues, because even though Bitcoin's the most liquid cryptocurrency on the planet, you have to have payment channels set up via Lightning Network, and those channels today, and maybe it'll change, they're supremely illiquid, so you can't do much with it today. So there are a lot of hurdles. There are a lot of problems with Lightning Network. Sending and receiving in, for example, and Lightning Network both have to be online at the same time. There's a bunch of technological hurdles. And so anyway, it's just interesting that that's the other thing that XRP has done first. And it's not only has it done it first, like, it's live in enterprise grade software. XRP is moving money around the planet today. And you get less friction with XRP because the end user doesn't have to download the Strike app. They don't have to change anything they're doing. XRP is just used in the plumbing. Whereas with the Strike app, that's an additional hurdle. You actually have to download the app. So you have to onboard the customers. And it's not that that's an insurmountable task, but it's not a small task. To get everybody to use specifically your app to move the money around, a lot of competitive forces out there. So you got your work cut out for you. But they may find some success. We'll see. It's certainly possible. I don't mind competition in the least here. I still think that XRP is a better baseline technology for all of this for so many obvious reasons. But they didn't want to use that, right? It's just, it's weird. It's weird. It's just, and so it's like, why do you pick the inferior technology as the base technology? And it's just, I don't know for sure. It would be interesting to ask them. But I would suppose a lot of this probably comes down to ideological reasons. If you're a maximalist, it's one coin to rule them all, that type of stuff. That would be my best guess. But anyway, the piece continues. Twitter is not in the flow of funds and won't take a percentage of tipping proceeds, the company said. Different payment options or tipping services will be available to users in different parts of the world. The exception, according to Ether Crawford, who works in Twitter's product department, will be Bitcoin and Lightning options, which will be available to all Twitter users worldwide. And so there you go. That's it in a nutshell. And so Jack Mallers, he did a little demo with his Strike app, moving this money around. And which I'm going to talk about the XRP version of this, which was it's called the XRP tip bot. Many of you are familiar, I'm sure, but I want to talk about this. But this is inferior to the original XRP tip bot. This is an additional hurdle because in order to use this, you have to download a third-party app. With XRP, you actually didn't. You didn't have to download anything. But anyway, here's what Jack Mallers, the founder of Strike, tweeted out about this. I just published announcing the Strike API. Today, Twitter enables free instant global payments for their users with their integration of the Strike API. What the internet did for communication, Bitcoin plus the Lightning Network is doing for money. All right, and then he goes on to talk about how this is going to put Western Union out of business and remittance firms and this and that. And things are going to shift. I've talked about this before, too. So XRP getting used in the plumbing for settlement transactions around the world. So I've talked about this before. You could certainly reach a point where people, by and large, dwindles away as technology progresses. Fewer and fewer people continue to go to traditional remittance firms. But if that's the case, that doesn't mean that Bitcoin or some other cryptocurrency just takes over. At that point, XRP, if it's been along for the ride, it's going to be supremely liquid, one of the most liquid and popular cryptocurrencies on the planet because it technologically is perfectly suited for payments. And then it could be other use cases also on top of that. So it doesn't mean that even in this world, as if it evolves into that, which certainly makes a ton of sense to me, it's not clear that Bitcoin or XRP or any cryptocurrency is necessarily going to be 100% the winner, but I don't know why XRP wouldn't have a huge piece of that pie as long as it continues to be useful along the way. It would continue to get adopted here. And so there you go. And then Anthony Pompliano tweeted out the following. I just sent Jack Mallers $5 across Twitter instantly. This is the future. Strike's API just turned Twitter into one of the most powerful payment apps in the world, Welcome to the future, game on. And then, so I was just reading this, I was just sitting there like, huh, with my mouth half open, like, okay. Like, okay, I get nothing against what they're doing here. That's not the point of me making this video or talking about this. It's just there's a complete, like, lack of appreciation for XRP and what developers building on top of the XRP ledger have done. It's not good unless it's Bitcoin or Bitcoin related, right? And so then there was also this from Anthony Pompliano. And he wrote, imagine being a Western Union executive and now realizing that Twitter is coming for your neck, with a little laughy emoji. And so I retweeted that, and I wrote the following. You mean like when the XRP tip bot launched 4 years ago? Except that worked without layer 2 technology like Lightning Network. And yeah, so that's what I put out. You don't need third-party apps. It just worked. You didn't have to sign up for anything. If you're on Twitter, that's it. Any funds that were sent to you, like XRP funds that were sent to you, that it was just associated with your Twitter handle. And so you could log in automatically. So it'd just be literally, you could send XRP to anybody. That's how it was set up at the time anyway. Now, unfortunately, oh wait, actually let me get to this first before I say the next part. And so, then I noticed this, some support. So some XUMM that created the Sum wallet. It was XRPL Labs that created the Sum wallet. And it's Wietse Wind that created XRPL Labs, which is actually funded by Ripple. And Wietse Wind is the creator of the XRP tip bot. And so I don't know if it was him that typed this in response to my thread or just somebody else on his team, but they did see what I wrote there and ultimately wrote the following, which I kind of made me chuckle a little bit. But here's the official Sum Support Twitter account. And they wrote in response to my thread, I believe it was Oscar Wilde that said, imitation is the sincerest form of flattery that mediocrity can pay to greatness. Which I was not familiar with that, but that did make me chuckle, so I thought I'd share it though. So here is the official XRP Tipbot website, and you can see the Tipbot is no longer operational. And this was rather regrettable. It was absolutely an amazing thing. And so you're like, well, wait a minute. What Matt, on the Moon Lambo channel, what went wrong here? Well, nothing was wrong with the service itself. What happened is burdensome and not well thought out regulation. So take a look at this. This was written by Wietse Wind, creator of the XRP Tipbot, also the founder of XRPL Labs, which created the Sum wallet. And this is from May 14th of last year, 2020. XRP Tipbot, important message, action required. And take a look at this. And so you got to understand this, and you'll see, like, it's not that this couldn't have continued to work, but it ended up migrating to a different platform, and the ease of use for people to get onboarded to it shifted as a result. But anyway, here's how this went down. So again, it's not that it's suddenly no longer technologically possible with the XRP ledger. If you're somewhere where you're in a region where you're not going to have burdensome regulations, or you're in a position where you can kind of take on any sort of monetary implications of burdensome regulations, this can still persist the way that this was set up. And so another developer actually could do something similar to the way that the XRP Tipbot originally was set up. But here you go. The XRP Tipbot is a hobby project I started in 2017, created for fun and the XRP community. If you don't know me, I'm Wietse, a software developer from the Netherlands working full-time on XRP ledger-related products. By the way, I'll just pause here to state, I remember seeing the thread where somebody gave Wietse the idea to create this. And so I don't know if it was him or somebody else, but somebody created an XRP tipping service somewhere else on the internet. I could be wrong, but I think it was Reddit. It could have been something else. I don't know for sure. I'm going back on almost 4 years of memory. And he may have been speaking with, I can't remember if it was Tiffany Hayden or somebody else that was really well known in the XRP community at the time. And somebody proposed that. It's like, okay, yeah, he effectively communicated, okay, yeah, I'm on it. And then in very short order, it just existed. It was live, and then people were using it, moving XRP to one another, tipping. I was just like, whoa, this is really cool stuff right here. And so it was an interesting time to be around the XRP community, and I was brand new to things back then. But anyway, Wietse continues here. During the last 2.5 years, the Tipbot had a good run. Over 2.5 million XRP tipped in almost 1 million tips, mostly on Twitter. 10,000 active app users, 62,000 accounts, 36,000 signed-in users, 18,000 monthly active users. One specific feature contributed greatly to this success. And then he writes in parentheses, relative, still a hobby project. That's true. Keep this in mind. This is incredibly successful for a hobby project. This could have been even bigger. But anyway, so what contributed, as he said, is the fact that anyone can be sent a tip with just one message, a tweet, or a post, without the recipient having to set up an account. Because again, if you have a Twitter account, that already, just that designation, that the fact that existed, that's what resulted in the whole setup knowing where the XRP should go. And then you could sign in based off of your Twitter handle and then take claim to it anyway. But anyway, tip balance could just be forwarded using the same syntax, or a withdrawal could be requested at xrptipbot.com. As you can imagine, it made me so incredibly proud to see all those users from around the world sharing their love and generosity with other people. Charities received thousands of dollars in XRP, and medical bills were paid by random strangers, taking advantage of the speed and low fees the XRP ledger offers. Now, the Netherlands was a great place to live for my TipBot hobby project that got a bit out of hand, as it involves crypto custody. With no specific regulatory requirements for my cryptocurrency custody, I was able to keep some XRP in a hot wallet, waiting until a tipped stranger claimed the funds XRP using an on-ledger withdrawal. But this changed rapidly. A little over 3 weeks ago, the Netherlands government passed the bill that will kick off the regulation of cryptocurrency custody in the Netherlands. While I feel this is a good thing, there are also a few very problematic issues as well. Number one, the bill passed April 21st. A 6-month grace period was promised starting January 10th this year, but, number two, mandatory registration at the Netherlands regulator by May 18th. That's a few days from now. And number three, worst of all, uncertainty. Costs. Subsequent calculation somewhere in 2021 next year. Costs are already estimated at $25,000 per year, and with more and more crypto businesses in the Netherlands closing shop because of the uncertainty and deadline, the regulatory costs will be spread out over less companies, resulting in a horrible bill in 2021. So you can see, he made this himself, and it became wildly popular, and then regulations basically put him in a position where it was not even almost reasonable to proceed. And so then he has this little subheading. Did I mention the TipBot is without any fees for users? So, a deadline I cannot possibly meet, costs I cannot possibly predict, implementing KYC and AML myself. While plans still exist to do all of this in a more generic way, I decided I can't get my ducks in a row within a few weeks, or now days, and I don't want to charge absurd fees for using the TipBot. That wouldn't make any sense and take all the fun out of it. And so ultimately what he did is he ended up teaming up with cryptocurrency exchange Uphold, and I thought it was really cool that Uphold came to the rescue to save this thing. But man, I don't see anybody using the XRP TipBot anymore at this point. There's another barrier. Nothing against what was done here. In fact, again, I'd say it's to be applauded what Wietse did and Uphold teaming up here. But the truth of the matter is, you have to have an Uphold account in order to use this thing. So that it's another barrier. When you didn't need that, and when there's no barrier to entry, and somebody just sends you XRP, and you're like, wait, then you're like, what? I got XRP, and then you can look into it and be like, oh, and then you learn how to use it. And people just got so easily onboarded that way. And it's just so quick, it's lightning fast. Real-time movement of money. Truly astonishing here. And so it's just funny knowing that all of this happened several years ago with XRP, with Layer 1 technology, and now you're seeing Bitcoin playing catch-up and utilizing Lightning Network, and then third-party apps are required. All this stuff nowhere nearly as friendly as the original version of the XRP TipBot. I just found it fascinating. And I'm telling you, it doesn't make sense to be a maximalist, and XRP is still better suited for this than Bitcoin. It just is. And so it's for ideological reasons, and people with heavy Bitcoin bags, they just want to keep pushing what's best in the best financial interest of themselves. I get it. But for anybody that's unbiased, it really doesn't make as much sense. It makes more sense to utilize the technology that has the better starting point. That's all I'm saying right here. But I'll go ahead and wrap up there. I am not a financial advisor. You should not buy or sell anything because of anything that I say or write. That would be a very, very, very bad idea. Until next time, to the moon, Lambo.